Hi, I'm Jordan, and this is Told by Thread. Apologies for any weird sound. We've got really heavy rain in Sydney today, and my studio has like a tin roof, so not much I can do, but hope you can bear with me. Okay, so today is going to be a good one. I hope you agree. I've always loved the look of like a full maxi skirt. So this has been on my sewing list for quite a long time. Okay, so what I struggle with skirts, and I'm thinking I found a solution for this, is getting the balance between like a nice flat waistband all around, but also having that comfort and being able to have a garment move with your body. So the obvious answer for most of the time is putting in an elastic waistband in terms of comfort, but because I have a suede back, I find that fabric just bunches on the top of my bum with an elastic waistband. So I have done it. Obviously, if you've seen the Lane Pants video, you'll see that I'm wearing, and today, wearing an elastic waistband. But I do love the look of a flat sort of tailored waistband all around. So one compromise that you quite often see is a flat waistband, but then an elastic on the back. But the problem with that is if you have a sway back like me, the elastic back fabric just bunches and sits on the top of your bum. Anyway, so I've done a lot of thinking around this one, and I think I've found the perfect solution for me, and it might inspire you. So I'm going to be combining a traditional full circle skirt with some tweaks to the Megan Nielsen Wattle Skirt. So this pattern features a pocket bag entry, which I love. She has two options for this pattern. One is a button closure and one is a tie. However, even the adjustable tie option requires a button hidden on the inside. So it's not completely adjustable in terms of like moving with you throughout the day as you wear the garment. So my idea to kind of combine the two is to add a little loop of elastic. I think it might be easier if I just show you the two toiles that I worked on. So the first one was going along great until I tried it on and realized I must have lost some weight and this skirt was now too big. At first I thought it was because I did a bit of pattern hacking, but then I was like, oh, just measure my waist again. No, it's smaller, which I wasn't expecting. So instead of unpicking all this and chopping it up again, I just got another bed sheet that I got from the op shop and did another one. But essentially my idea is to put an elastic loop on the inside instead of a buttonhole. So when that wraps around the button and you move around, any like stress on the fabric is going to be taken by that elastic loop. But added to that, because obviously even with a tie waist, that's adjustable when you have weight fluctuations and you're putting it on, but it doesn't move with you throughout the day like an elastic waistband does. So my solution is going to be to add a little bit of elastic on the tie at one end, only a little bit, but just enough that as you like sit and move around and bend during the day, hopefully the stress on that waistband is taken by that elastic as well a little bit. So you have 2 points of elastic that are just taking a bit of that stress out, making it super comfortable to wear. I'm hoping. It feels good so far in the toile, but I will admit that I haven't put the elastic on the tie part. I've only done the loop, so it's a little bit risky, and we know things always go wrong with me. So I'm really hoping this works. From when I tried on the toile, the D-rings are quite nice and secure, so we'll see how we go. I can always adjust things later. Okay, so let me show you the fabric. So this is a cotton tartan fabric that I got from the sewing basket. They had a huge roll of it there. So I got 5 meters, not knowing what I was going to make, but 5 meters has turned out to be perfect for this project. So it's a little on the thin side. So I thought I should line this if it is going to be a winter skirt. And that will actually also give it a lot of nice body as a full skirt. So I went to Remnant Warehouse and I got this navy shirting cotton. Again, another 5 meters. So yeah, that will be the two fabrics that I'm using today. To get the circle skirt pattern, I hopped onto Mood Fabrics calculator online, popped in my measurements, and this gave me the radius and the amount of fabric I needed. As I already suspected, the width of my fabric of 110 centimeters was far too narrow, so I had to cut 2 half circle skirts to sew into a full circle. I traced out all these measurements onto paper on a quarter circle skirt, which is then cut on the fold. To get the pocket bag hack, I laid the pattern piece from the Wattle Skirt along one edge and cut 1/2 circle skirt with that, remembering of course that I need 1.5 centimeters seam allowance all around. I laid all my fabric out in the foyer floor at my studio and got cutting. Okay, so that's taken me 2.5 hours, which is crazy. So I'm going to take a break and have some lunch, and then we'll start sewing. I have stay stitched the waistline. It's interesting, this fabric is really stretchy compared to the shirting, so it's been interesting. So now I'm putting the pocket bags on this side of the skirt. Now, time to put the pockets on the pocket bags. So now we put the two skirt panels together, and because I'm combining two different patterns, the side seams don't quite match up, but it's not a huge amount. Though having said that, I've only done that on a shortened toile, so but I'm just going to cut off the excess because it's a full circle skirt, so it shouldn't make too much of a difference. I'm not sure what I've done, but it's like the reverse problem of what I was doing with my toile. Anyway, basically the pocket is sticking out further. I'll show you. So on my toile, the other skirt piece went up to the edge of the pockets on both sides and around the waistband fine, and then obviously you've got this funny angle here. I'm having the opposite problem on this one, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to have a play. So at this point it was getting really late. I'd been having technical difficulties both sewing and filming. I'd almost been locked in by a neighbouring business that shares our building, and it was just 10:30 at night, so I gave in and I went home. When I woke up the next morning, I felt like I'd been hit by a truck, so most of the day was spent like this. Oh man, this place looks like it's been shaken up to get the pennies out. So, time to do a big cleanup, I think. The other day, my phone died after I'd done some doing something on the sewing machine, turned around and realised my phone was dead. It's the second time this has happened. I'm normally, anyway. And I think just the past month it's been since I started this channel. Yeah, the past month just has caught up with me because I basically haven't had a day off since I started. I mean, I really set myself up for a huge challenge by trying to get all my winter sews done basically in 4 weeks, which clearly hasn't happened. Yeah, so while I was at home yesterday, just having a day off in bed, curled up with the cat, I started thinking about things that had been in the back of my mind for a little while about this channel. And I came to the realisation that the current pace that I'm going at is just not sustainable, and I need to give myself a bit of a buffer zone so that I can be, like 2 weeks ahead of when I post things, because it really brought home, like, if I get sick, I can't post something that week. And why it's so important to me to post each week is I really love what I'm doing here. This is the first time in a very long time that something feels really right. And I want to keep doing it, but I want it obviously to be sustainable. But part of that is I want to show up like a real job and be consistent. So I just have to rethink my scheduling, my plan. Doing YouTubes is a lot of work. I really underestimated how hard this is. I've had to learn 2 new programs. And also just getting to grips with filming and lighting and sound. And I feel like I'm getting a lot better at that. I've got a good groove going on now. I would really like some better equipment. I'm doing what I can with what I have right now, and that's fine. But I can see that some slightly better equipment will actually just make my life a lot easier when I'm filming, just streamline the process. So that's on the books eventually. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take maybe a week or two, probably 2 weeks I should do, where I'll still be posting, but it just won't be the sewing content that I'd planned. It might just be some other smaller short content, just so I've got something up on the channel and I'm being consistent and growing my channel. And for all my subscribers, I'm just so grateful that you're here, especially if you're watching each video when they get posted. That just really means a lot. Oh, I don't know, I'm getting emotional. I'm so tired. So I'm still pushing through with this one video, but I'm going to split this skirt video in 2, which is not ideal. In future, I'd like to be 2 weeks ahead and be able to put together just 1 video per project. So let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see. I've got a cross stitch that I need to sew up into its little banner frame. What else have I got? I could do a studio tour. I was going to talk about embroidery on clothes, but I wanted to save that for when I do the final reveal of the apron style dress, which is another thing I'm sad about because I haven't had any time to do that embroidery. These videos are taking me a week without a day off. Filming and doing the actual sewing takes a few days. I'm just a slow sewer. I might be getting better at that, but that's where I'm at right now. Editing takes, I would like to say a day, but it's really 2 days. And then, life is still happening in between. I've still got to do graphic design work to pay the bills because I'd much rather be doing this and getting paid for this, but we're not there yet. But speaking of which, I've decided to open a Ko-fi account, or Ko-fi. I wasn't going to put that up on my channel for another few weeks. I feel silly doing it so early on, but I'm going to put myself out there. So if you feel like supporting me to keep doing these videos, which I absolutely adore, there's a link in the description. Yeah, support me however you can. I'm going to clean up this studio and do a little time lapse and bring you along. If I have the energy after that, I'm going to have another look at my skirt, mainly because it's been haunting me ever since Thursday when I left at 10:30. What did I do wrong? I've eaten a lot of sugar and Coke, so, which is not good, but that might help. Let's get cleaning.